Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. This video will be a little bit different as to what we're normally used to here at the channel. While normally we do video essays and comparison videos that have been doing extremely well recently, today we will be doing a different hobby of mine that I also really like, and that is creating art. More specifically, car design. While don't get me wrong, designing my own cars and having that creative liberty is extremely fun, I also like to redesign cars and sometimes revive cars that have maybe been discontinued. Such as in today's case where I will be redesigning the Plymouth Barracuda for the modern era. For those who don't know, the Plymouth Barracuda is an extremely popular muscle car. In fact, it's actually regarded as the muscle car that kind of jump-started the muscle car era that arguably we're kind of still in today. Unfortunately, however, this legendary muscle car was discontinued in 1974 due to the gas crisis. However, since muscle cars have seen an extreme revival in the past 20 years, becoming extremely popular once again, I figured it would be interesting to redesign the classic muscle car for a modern era and just see how it would turn out. It's actually not that far-fetched for the Plymouth Barracuda to make a return, as Chrysler actually does buy the licensing rights for the name Barracuda. While this hypothetical comeback would not exactly be ideal as Plymouth is dead as a company, it would probably be known as the Dodge Barracuda or something like that. With that in mind, I did use parts from Dodge and Chrysler vehicles to make this reconstruction, so without further ado, let's get right into the redesign. So for my base car that I'm going to be modeling this redesign after, I'm actually using the Dodge Challenger RT with the shaker hood package actually, as I believe that it adds to that classic muscle car feel. And actually the Dodge Challenger is really just a good car to make any sort of muscle car platform redesign on, mainly because if you look at a Dodge Challenger, it is pretty much the muscle car. It has that classic Coke bottle styling, basic geometry, and of course that menacing look that is found in pretty much every single American muscle car that we all love. For this redesign, I will be remodeling this car after the 1970 Hemi Cuda, which there are some noticeable differences between that and the modern day Challenger, mainly in the front fascia. Whereas the Dodge Challenger has two front headlights, the Barracuda actually only has one, as well as some other minor changes to the front bumper. However, it won't be that big of a redesign, however, it will be a noticeably different car. So my current plan right now is actually to take the front grille out of a Dodge Charger, stretch it out, and actually put it into the grille of the Challenger. That way we are able to kind of recreate that split grille look that the Barracuda has. I'm also going to be taking elements from the front bumper of the Charger and pretty much just molding it onto the Challenger front fascia. There's quite a few of these Plymouth Barracuda redesigns floating around the internet, but most of them really just seem to be a grille swap for the Challenger, and I want this car to actually really stick out as a different car. So, the first step is, of course, to actually just remove the whole front grille of the Challenger, which is pretty much easy enough. It's pretty much just cutting out a rectangle, and then actually cutting out the grille of the Charger and fitting it into the Challenger. I can actually accomplish this just by taking the mesh that I've cut out with the grill and just stretching it out to all four corners of the Challenger grill. I'm actually able to accomplish via the software Procreate. It's really great because I have an Apple device with the Apple Pen and everything. It's just really handy because I can use it as a mobile software, and it's just very intuitive and easy to use. I really love it. The next step in this redesign is just to cut out the two headlights on the outermost side of the Challenger. Okay, so as you can see in this picture here, I have been able to stretch out that Charger grille and fit it into the Challenger grille. It looks a little uncanny right now, however, later on in the video I actually do, switched it around a little bit and just kind of even it out a little bit more to where it looks like an actual car. Now this was the tricky part, as I had to basically take bits and pieces of the Charger grill and kind of mold them onto the Challenger grill. I really love how it ended up turning out, however, because it looks just like an even beefier version of the Challenger, which is actually really just the feeling that I get whenever I look at a Plymouth Barracuda. It is definitely one of the more powerful muscle cars, and this redesign definitely invokes that. But yeah, so I pretty much just took the lower front fascia of that Charger, and I'm just trying to fit it onto the Challenger. Now, of course, these are two completely different cars, so I did have to do a lot of masking and actually color matching and just trying to line up all these parts. And I ended up stretching out the front little almost push bar, if you want to call it, piece of that Charger bumper, and I just kind of stretched it out and actually made it meet the bottom lip of the Challenger bumper. And actually, now I'm going to add the back fender stripe. Now, for those who don't know, Plymouth Barracudas would sometimes have a fender stripe that would usually be black. It'd come from the back fender, and it would usually display the engine block size, just kind of like how the Mustang Boss 429 has that stripe and badge that says 429, and it's basically just the engine block size. I believe that the engine block size for the Plymouth Barracuda was 345, but don't quote me on that. I know they also came with the 446 pack, if I am not mistaken. But yeah, these classic muscle cars would have striping showing the engine block size, and I really like that. Okay, so kind of final reflections on this design. I really like how the bumper and everything turned out. Actually really like the grille now that I think about it, now that I switched it over. Everything really lines up on this car for me. I just kind of wish that it chose like a red or maybe a green kind of base car to actually work off of, because I really like the sleek and kind of more blacked out design. I wish I also kind of was able to see more of that front fascia, all the minor details. But I really like how this car turned out. Actually, I want y'all to let me know what you think of it and what car actually I should redesign next. Actually, I'm currently also working on a video where I redesigned the current Supra, but it is nowhere near to the level of redesign where I took this car and pretty much changed the whole front of it. Expect more of these redesign videos, as I actually had a whole lot of fun making this video. I really like, as I said earlier on in the video, I really like art, designing cars, and I have a passion for muscle cars, and really just cars in general. If you want to see more from us, we have a bunch of videos on the channel, mainly, as I said earlier, video essays. Most recently, we actually put out a comparison video to a couple of American muscle cars, the Camaro versus the Mustang GT. So if you want to watch that, definitely go and check that out. I'm sure that if you like this video, you'd probably like that one too. But until we make our next video, we'll see you then.